Did you guys catch the Oscars this year? That was a fun one, huh? So you know how every year the Oscar nominations come out for Best Picture and you've only heard of like 2 of the movies? Yeah, me too. So I thought now that the Oscars is over, I'll play some catch up and let you guys know what's worth watching and what you can just continue to ignore. 10 movies is a lot to nominate, right? It just seems like a lot. Didn't it used to be like 5? Anyway, I watched most of them and I thought I would report back to you guys. Maybe we can chalk this one up as like an Oscars movie dump. Yeah. Licorice Pizza. Before I saw this movie, I heard so much about it. I probably heard the most Oscar buzz about this movie specifically. It's a masterpiece. It's controversy. It's Paul Thomas Anderson's best movie. Okay, let's chill out a bit on that, huh? This is a story about 2 young people that meet and have adventures and learn life lessons and fall in love for what seems to be like a summer. If I had to guess, I'd say the movie takes place over like 3 or 4 months. Yes, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. He does do a great job. And so does the rest of the cast, for that matter. So yeah, I watched it, and I finished it, and in the end, I understand and I see why people would love it. Personally, it's not for me. When I see a movie, I like to watch a story with a solid plot driven by well-written characters. Those are my favorite types of movies. Licorice Pizza feels like a group of drunk friends hanging around a bonfire telling stories about their adolescent years. I thought it was like the indie movie version of this.
Melanie Griffith had you handcuffed to the bed, remember that?
Yeah.
And you had to make that phone call, remember? And you were chained to the thing and you couldn't get away.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Not a bad movie by any means. I just needed more story to weave these random scenes together into a functional story, a full functional story. It's just kind of choppy, and I think that's because it plays out like someone remembering things. But you don't have that like storyteller to tell the stories, you know? You've got one scene where they're selling waterbeds, cut to a whole nother scene where they're doing something else. And you're like, what happened in between that time? Was there a time jump here? Let's discuss the controversy, shall we? A girl in her 20s is dating an underage boy that's like a senior in high school. The girl in her 20s that seems to be taking advantage of this boy, she's a fictional character. It's not real, guys. This is a movie. These people don't exist in real life. In Shrek, there's a donkey who's 30? And Donkey is dating a fucking dragon that's 200 years old? People don't see a problem with that, do they? At least in Licorice Pizza, they're the same fucking species. So the movie didn't totally blow me away. I thought the Bradley Cooper part was the best story in the movie. I'll probably never watch it again. Don't need to. Thought it was fine. Coda! Oh my god. Go watch Coda right now. What a fulfilling movie to watch. It's about this girl who loves to sing, who is actually a talented singer, and the members of her immediate family, they're all deaf. She has to find a way how to balance out what she wants in life and how to help her family run their business on their own. All at the same time. It's stressful and it's heartwarming, and the last 5 minutes, it'll make you cry. I think Coda is a great movie, and I'm really happy that it won Best Picture. I'm happy for everyone that created that movie. Deserved it for sure. Even though I think I'd still give Best Picture to Dune. Power of the Dog. I'm pretty sure that this movie's really good. It's kind of a Western, and by that I mean it feels like a Western, and it takes place out in the West. You got amazing cinematography and beautiful landscapes. Benedict Cumberbatch. Cucumber. Doctor Strange, he and his brother own a very profitable ranch. His brother marries Kirsten Dunst, and with her comes her teenage son from a previous marriage. Benedict Cumberbatch, Eggs Benedict, he doesn't like that these people moved in and are kind of encroaching on his life and his home. So he wants to make their experience as miserable as possible. And his character really is a piece of shit. That's the basic plot. The way it plays out, though, is pretty fascinating. I just didn't expect it to play out the way it did. So when it ends, it gets you thinking about the entire story. And that makes me want to watch it again. And I know that I will. And I'm pretty sure it's sweet. I'm pretty sure it's a sweet movie. It was very unpredictable. The acting was as good as acting gets. There's a surprising amount of tension that gives this awkward tone to the movie. I know that I like it a lot, but I might love this movie. But I might be overthinking it. Am I? Am I overthinking this? Cumberbatch. King Richard. First and foremost, I do not condone glorifying sports dads. Thought I was going to talk about something else, didn't ya? If you've ever had a sports dad growing up, then for sure you can relate to the Williams sisters.
Collins can't play! Why don't you shut your mouth before I kick your ass? Come on, let's go! I'm right here!
Randy.
Sit down before you get hurt! Motherfucker! Go! What you got?
God damn it.
This probably should be the story of how these sisters trained as children to grow up and be some of the top athletes of all time. Some of the greatest tennis players ever. But instead, it's about their dad? Richard Williams? Dick Williams? Yeah, I'd say this movie's fine. I'm just not overly interested in how great Richard Williams was. I do appreciate what this movie is, but I just think I understand that this guy was probably worse than how this movie portrays him. They do their fair share of showing his bad sides too, but I just assume that it was probably worse than that. Sports dads. There was one notable thing that bothered me throughout the movie because it kept happening, and it's this I told you so attitude that the movie gives off. Like, someone will ask Venus Williams, hey Venus, what's your goal here in tennis? What do you want to do with your career? And she'll say something like, I want to grow up to be the best female tennis player that ever was. And naturally, the guy will like scoff at that. And it's at that point where I swear the characters in the movie are gonna turn to the camera and be like, because somebody said that they couldn't do what they eventually do. I get it, and I'm sure that they had their doubters throughout their life. But the amount of times that happens was fucking annoying. Especially with just driving home the fact that Richard Williams kept telling these coaches the girls need to have a wide stance. Wide stances for these girls. And of course the coaches are like, why would they have a wide stance? And then, of course, you know, Richard Williams is right. We get it, guys. Richard Williams is awesome. It's fine. It's a fine movie. Feel free to watch it if you want to. Will Smith did do a good job. It would probably be a better movie if they focused on the Williams sisters growing up as best friends and then eventually having to be forced to be competitive rivals in this sport that they both rose to the top at. Venus being the best until Serena eventually surpasses her, and the emotional toll that would take on an entire family. But no, I guess Richard Williams is just more important than his daughters. Sports dads.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was in America. I'm sorry.
Nightmare Alley. Bradley Cooper joins a traveling circus of sorts in the late 1930s. He learns their circus ways and he takes what he's learned and applies it to the real world. Everyone is in this movie. Huge cast. There was way too many times where I'm like, oh, that guy. Oh, she's in this? Oh, that guy. Everybody's in this movie. And across the board, everyone's acting completely fits the tone of the movie. It's so nice seeing an entire cast that all does a great job together. At the end of the day, this is a Guillermo del Toro movie. This is a guy that takes pride in his movies, and he always makes them look beautiful. The stories he tells, they're dark and full of meaning. And I do like this movie. I like it. It just really takes its fucking time. I really enjoyed the first hour, and then it just slows down for the next hour and a half. It's still good, and it's definitely worth a watch. I just don't think I could do that again. Once was enough. I'd say by the end, you're like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. I like how this is wrapping up. This is cool. This is cool. It's wrapping up very well. I like this a lot. Yeah, the end makes the whole movie worth it. All right, that's it. I never saw Drive My Car or Belfast. I'll get to those eventually. I just feel like those are bummers to watch, and I just haven't been in the mood to watch bummer movies lately. I mean, did you see them? How were they? Were they sad? Because they look sad as shit. Everything else I have reviews for, or they're in other movie dumps. And that wraps up this Oscar movie dump, everyone. So yeah, it felt good. It was a good dump. All right? See ya. Subscribe. Yeah, Coda won Best Picture, and that's fine because it was a good movie, okay? But it was a $10 million movie. And then you've got Dune that was like, what, $165 million to make? And you can tell a $10 million movie versus a $100 million movie to make. Well, Dune is the best. Dune was better than all of the movies I've seen. Totally fine that Coda won. Totally fine. But, like, isn't it just kind of stupid to categorize these movies together? How do you compare Dune to Coda? I don't... Dune's better.